Hello, Loop Power District, employees, retirees, family, and friends, and welcome to this month's edition of Canal Chronicles. Well, it looks like we made it through January with the two major winter storms that we had the previous 2 weekends and the cold weather that seemed to persist through the middle part of the month. There's a lot of activity that went on during those times, working with the cold weather and the tremendous amount of snow that received in the four-county area. But we managed to get through it with minor issues, no real major outages, and continued to work in a lot of areas that we needed to work on given the continuing construction within our four-county area. Really proud of all of our employees during this time, and even though we did shut our office down for one Friday due to the snow and the conditions, we really managed to do a great job of getting to the places that we needed to get ourselves dug out when we needed to, and to get our crews into the various locations when we had stuff that we needed to take care of, repairs and other things. So congratulations to our crews for making it through the worst of this weather. At the board meeting today, we talked a lot about water issues throughout the district's four-county area. Again, we continue to work on our non-capacity license amendment to our Federal Energy Regulatory Commission license. This non-capacity license amendment needs some material and studies completed, and we're waiting on a couple of outside influences for that. And once those studies are completed, we will then file that with FERC, and hopefully sometime in March, and then work with FERC to see if we can get a conclusion to the non-capacity license amendment and put most of the issues with our current license to bed. We hope to have that completed by the end of 2024, so stay tuned for more information as we move forward. Additionally, the board heard a report from management regarding generation from the hydroelectric facilities during 2023. We actually were about 11% above average for generation from the hydroelectric units, even though we were below revenue compared to 2022 when we had less generation. This is due to the market prices in the Southwest Power Pool, which is how we are paid for our generation from the hydroelectric facilities. Market prices in 2023 were well below those in 2022, which affected the overall revenue for the district. This is something that the board discussed long and hard about as what we will see in the future as we try to make some decisions with the Monroe Powerhouse and whether to move that to qualifying local generation under our contract with NPPD. We talked long and hard about this with the board, and no decisions were made today, but we're going to continue to monitor market prices and what we think market prices will do in conjunction with the wholesale prices for power that we pay to Nebraska Public Power District. Management also provided the board with a report on the output from the Creston Ridge 1 and 2 wind farms for 2023. For 2023, generation was down at both wind farms as Bluestem Energy continues to work on certain issues with regard to the turbines at Creston Ridge, as they seem to be down for an extended period of time during 2023. Although we were still above the 43% capacity factor output that was expected from the wind farms, it was still below where we had been at the previous 4 or 5 years. Again, a lot of the discussion with regard to Creston Ridge was regarding, does it run during our peak power times? And it generally does during the spring and fall months, but not quite so much during the summer and winter months. It's a very hit and miss type of situation. That's where the Creston Ridge Wind Farm provides the most benefit to the district if it can be up and operational during our peak period of time as compared to our billing from the Nebraska Public Power District. The board is happy with the output from Creston Ridge, but again, generation was down during 2023, and we will continue to monitor this as we move forward. We also discussed with the board selling our renewable energy credits to BD under a contract that we signed with BD this past summer. BD was very interested in buying our renewable energy credits from the district, as they wanted to have local generation to go with the energy that they are using at their facilities here in Columbus. So we entered into an agreement with BD this past summer, and it's worked out well for the district, as we will be selling all of our renewable energy credits to BD for the years 2023 through 2030. District management provided a cost of service study on canal water use rates to the board, and because of the results of that study, the board decided to leave rates as they were for 2024. The board has not changed canal water user rates since 2013, and it's stayed at $10 per acre foot since that point in time. The board had a long discussion about water users out of the canal as well as upstream water users, and we're trying to develop some sort of program moving forward with all people who use water out of either the canal or upstream for where the district takes water out of the Loup River. More details on this will be upcoming in the future, so stay tuned for more information. As you are all probably aware, the legislature started back up in early January, and the district's Vice President of Corporate Services, Todd Duran, has been following the legislature in the bills that have been introduced during the 2024 session. This includes bills that were carried over from the 2023 session that were not acted on by the legislature last year. There are over 1,200 bills that are being studied by the legislature at this point in time and that could be acted on in 2024, although with 2024 being the short session, it is doubtful that all of these, as a matter of fact, and if many of them are even acted on at this point in time. We continue to follow all the bills to see that the district is not impacted in any severe way by the bills, and to work with our legislative staffs and other legislatures to get in bills that are beneficial to the district. More information will be upcoming on all of these bills as we develop priorities on the bills and develop positions to either support or oppose bills that are before the legislature. As I've mentioned in the past, the district has been working on a customer-focused outage management system that customers will be able to look at to see if outages are occurring in their areas. We are including in this outage mapping system an idea where the customer will be able to report outages right on the mapping system that will be attached to our website, loup.com. You should be able to go there, report an outage, including your account, where you live, and what division you're part of, and then that will show up on our mapping system if you are having an outage at the time. You can also obviously call in the outages to our operators at the Columbus Powerhouse, and those will be registered at that time also. But if you want to go and report an outage directly on our outage mapping system, you will be able to do that. We're hopeful that this outage mapping system will be released within the next week to 2 weeks, and that customers will be able to see that on our website. So I would encourage you to go look at the website, see what the outage mapping system looks like, and then we will be going live with it, like I said, here in the next week or two as we finalize training amongst Loup Power District staff. It's a project that's a long time in coming, and we're excited to have this available to our customers and be able to show customers where outages are occurring in the Loup Power District area. As I mentioned at the beginning, we've made it through the worst part of January, or at least it seems we have, and we did it with relative ease as far as getting to outages, making repairs as we needed to. Which again brings me back to the product of safety. You know, we all seem to be in a hurry these days, and as many of you are aware, we did have a lost time accident in December, and we did have a near miss or two during the month of January. I want to continue to stress being safe, take your time, make sure we're using the right equipment, make sure we're aware of our surroundings whenever we go out and we do work. Yes, accidents happen, but many accidents can be prevented with just taking a little bit of extra time and knowing what is going on around you. Especially with the winter conditions, we can get into slips, trips, and falls without even knowing that we're getting there because of the condition of the surface. Maybe we run into an icy surface that doesn't look like that. Black ice is always a condition that we have to be aware of. We just need to be careful, know what we're all doing out there, especially with driving. Don't crowd anybody. Give yourself plenty of time to get to your destination. Winter weather can jump up at any time, just like the snow squall that happened last Thursday. At one point in time, everything looked like it was pretty benign and nothing going on. The next, we had snow squalls where you could barely see a quarter of a mile. So if you happen to be out during the winter, make sure your car has an emergency kit in it. Make sure you're prepared for whatever weather might bring to you. Make sure you're aware of all the warnings, not only where you're at, but where you're going, so you can be aware of that. Check maps. Most of the states have great road maps that can show you where roads are closed and where there might be issues with roads. So be aware of all that before you leave, and make sure that somebody else knows where you're going in case you do have a problem, and you can get a hold of them and they can let you know what's going on in their particular area. Again, safety is important. I continue to stress it at all times. We don't like to see accidents happen on our own, and we definitely don't like to see accidents happen to anybody else. But winter brings different kind of conditions for everybody, so continue to look at being safe and making sure we do our walk-arounds, making sure we're prepared for anything that might come up in our working conditions and where we're located at. And with that, and as always, be happy and stay safe.